All right, let's get into it. Today, we're going to take a real snapshot of the AI world as it stands in late 2025. And we're not just going to skim the headlines. We're going to look at how all these different pieces connect, from the AI sitting on your own desktop all the way up to the absolutely massive infrastructure that keeps the whole thing running.
So we've broken this down into 4 main parts. First up, we'll see how AI is starting to get a real personality. Then we'll look at how these AI agents are finally moving past the hype and actually getting to work. After that, we'll get into the human side of things. What does this all mean for jobs and our skills? And to wrap it all up, we're going to look at what it really costs in both money and resources to power this revolution.
Okay, so let's start with a really huge shift we're seeing. AI, it's not just some faceless tool in the background anymore. Nope. It's actually developing a personality, kind of becoming a companion in our daily lives. And it looks like Microsoft is really leading the way here, partly by learning from some, let's call them ghosts of assistants past.
So Microsoft is rolling out Mico, which is this animated, glowing little avatar that's designed to be a helpful companion. And you can see from this comparison, it's a really deliberate change in direction. They're embracing personality, but they've clearly learned their lesson. Mico is designed to feel warm, but not intrusive. And the most important part, you can easily turn it off, so no more clippy nightmares. This isn't just about looks. It's about giving you, the user, total control.
Now, personality is one thing, but you know what makes a relationship or a partnership feel, well, real? It's memory. And Anthropic's Claude is tackling this head on. They're giving their AI the ability to actually remember your preferences, your project details, and your conversation history. And this is not a gimmick, you guys. This is a fundamental change from having to start from scratch and re-explain yourself every single time. This right here explains exactly why memory is the new competitive advantage, what the industry is calling a moat. Anthropic is building this to be ready for big business right from the start. It's totally opt-in, it's transparent, so you can actually see and edit what it remembers, and it's designed to comply with really strict data laws like GDPR in Europe. This is what turns a chatbot from just a smart tool into a true collaborative partner that actually gets your work over time. But, not everyone is putting a friendly face on their AI. Google's playing a totally different game with Gemini. What they're doing is quietly weaving it into, well, everything. It's analyzing stats in sports broadcasts, it's generating entire slide decks, it's helping you find your keys on your Nest Cam, and as you can see from this chart, this kind of death by 1,000 cuts strategy, it's working. Gemini's web traffic share has basically doubled because it's just becoming the default helper inside the tools millions of us already use every day.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. We're moving from our personal AIs to the world of business. The hype around agentic AI, AI that can actually do things on your behalf, is finally starting to turn into real applications that make money. But, and this is a big but, it's coming with a heavy dose of governance.
Yeah, in industries with heavy regulations like banking, there is absolutely no room for that move fast and break things mentality. The rollout is super careful, it's methodical, and it follows a clear framework like the one you see here. You prove the value first, then you scale. And the top use cases, they aren't science fiction. They're really practical things like customer self-service or fraud detection, where the return on investment is crystal clear and crucially, the entire process can be audited. And this chart, it really lays out the split perfectly. The AI agents that are succeeding are the ones that are governed, specialized, and have really clear rules and goals. On the other hand, those general-purpose agentic browsers that promise to do, everything for you, they're getting pretty mixed reviews. And why is that? It comes down to one word: reliability. If an agent can't complete a simple task correctly every single time, people are just going to go back to doing it themselves. It's that simple. Here is a perfect example of an agent that just works. Avalar's tax agent is, well, honestly, it's kind of boring. And that is its superpower. It automates a tedious, rule-based process, and it does it reliably, every time. So the key takeaway here is that the agentic AI that's actually being adopted is the kind that takes a chore off your plate and can pass an audit. This quote from a recent conference just hits the nail on the head. The real value, the real breakthrough, doesn't come from some flashy demo of an AI booking a fake vacation. It comes from deeply integrating this technology into a complete business workflow, from the very beginning to the very end. So, all of this naturally brings us to the human side of the equation. We have to move beyond just the tech and really explore its complex and, let's be honest, often controversial impact on our jobs, our skills, and even the security of our data. OpenAI's Sam Altman recently kicked up a real firestorm with this comment. He was basically drawing a parallel to this idea of bullshit jobs, suggesting that AI would mostly just get rid of automated busy work. As you can imagine, the backlash online was immediate. A lot of people called the framing really callous and out of touch. The clarification that came later was that he wasn't saying entire professions are useless, but was talking about the tedious parts of our jobs. The checklists, the redundant reports, the stuff AI could handle, which would free up humans for more meaningful tasks. So what does the data actually say about this? Well, it's complicated. A global study found that only about 5% of people feel their job is useless. But when you look at a subset just within the US, that number jumps all the way to 20%. So this kind of suggests that while most people do find meaning in their work, that feeling isn't universal, which just adds another layer of nuance to this whole debate. And beyond all these philosophical debates, there are some very, very real risks. Just take this recent data breach in Australia. A temp worker, just trying to be more productive, uploaded sensitive personal data into a public AI tool. This is the reality of what people are calling shadow AI. It's well-intentioned employees using tools that aren't governed by their company, and in the process, creating these massive security holes. And the consequences? They are staggering. The potential fine for a breach like that one in Australia could be up to $50 million. Let that sink in. This single number really shows you why companies are scrambling to create safe, in-house AI options for their employees to use. Okay, for our last section, let's pull back the curtain and look at what makes all of this possible. We're talking about the massive, often invisible foundation of data centers, energy grids, and pure capital that this entire AI ecosystem is built on. The scale here is it's almost hard to wrap your head around. So let's do a little quick-fire round of numbers. First up, $200 billion. That's the opportunity just one firm, Brookfield, sees in building what they're calling AI factories. Basically, the giant data centers that house all this computing power. Now, let's zoom out even further. $7 trillion. That is the estimated need for AI infrastructure. Data centers, power plants, storage, the whole shebang, over just the next decade. This isn't just a software boom, folks. This is one of the biggest physical build-outs in human history. And the financial bets being made here are incredibly concentrated. 95%. That's how much of NVIDIA's massive investment portfolio is sunk into just 2 companies. And almost all of that is in a single GPU cloud provider called CoreWeave, which rents out the specialized chips that AI needs to run. So the money is flowing, but it's flowing to a very, very small group. But while the financial world is betting trillions on AI, the creative world is pushing back hard. The acclaimed director Guillermo del Toro, with this quote, really represents this powerful feeling from artists who see AI not as a helpful tool, but as a direct threat to genuine human artistry, to soul. And this cultural concern is tied directly to a very physical one. The explosion in creative AI, from deepfake videos to image generators, it all comes with a really steep environmental price tag. Every single creation requires an enormous amount of electricity to run and a ton of water to cool the data centers. It's a cost that is quickly becoming a serious policy issue. So there you have it. We've seen AI develop a personality, go to work in a smart, governed way, and spark these intense debates about our jobs and our art, all while being powered by a historic build-out of infrastructure. It's learning to be a partner, an employee, and an artist. The question that leaves for all of us is, are we ready for what it learns next? Thanks for joining me.